Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today I'm going to be doing a special video for a very good old best friend using the Gelish soft gel tip system. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, I'm going to be working with the Gelish soft gel tip system. This is one of the first full cover tips that I've been using, and I got this, I don't know, a couple years ago. It's been a while. Today, you guys know this as Gelish. I don't know much about Gelish. I don't know if it's a specific brand that calls it Gelish, but Gelish calls it soft gel tips. Alright, so let me show you how it is. I'm going to post in the corner somewhere the bundle that's on Amazon. The price point there is $179. It is pricey, but the quality is insanity. Once you get this kit, you can build on that, and it'll end up not costing that much all the time. The reason why it's that much all the time is because you get a case of tips. There's different size tips and shapes there. You get mini bottles of the primer, the dehydrator, the primer, the tip primer, the adhesive, and I believe you might get the Nourish Cuticle Oil. It does come with a couple of files, I believe, and then it also comes with the Gelish, my favorite, gooseneck touch LED lamp. So that's why it's so much. When you end up getting this kit and then you either replace the tips or the bottles, obviously it's not going to be as much. Okay, so because this is actually a how-to help video for my good friend, I am going to go from start to finish. So I'm going to just show you the products that I'm going to be working with in this video. I don't know exactly how long this video is going to be, but I'm going to show how I prep, how I adhere the tip, shape the tip, we're cutting this down a little short. I'm going to be using only a file. I have an e-file, but I don't think she has an e-file, so I'm just going to use regular files. Oh, and it also comes with a nail cleanser and a nail tip remover, which is essential. I talk about it a lot, maybe not as much as the slip solution, but it's blue. And it's a nail cleanser, and I use it every time. You can, most people use alcohol or what have you. I use this blue nail cleanser. And then the nail remover comes in a pink liquid, and then the reason why I'm not showing you the container is because I use it up. I do have jugs of the nail cleanser. It's just too big to show, but I'm going to just show it anyway. So I've upgraded. You get the mini bottles. So in this bundle, you get mini bottles of the cleanser and the nail remover. I buy jugs of these now because I use it so much and so often. I do have to get more nail remover. It's been a while since I've put nails on my hands to where I need that. And it really works well with this system. I'm going to show it to you in this video. The nail remover is insane because it really just soaks through. It's made out of gel. These are high quality tips. It soaks into that tip and it just bubbles off. So we're going to see that happen. But anyway, I believe she has medium coffin. I have long coffin, but I'm still just going to cut this short. So here are the tips. Let me show you the largest size. It's 00 down to 9. But this is the tip. It's the clarity is insane. The strength of it is insane. I have other tips. Of course, I save these for myself because these are high quality, and I end up saving it more when I use the whole system. I try not to use different brand products with this stuff. So Here's the thickness of the tip. It's a nice thickness on the tip end. You have a nice thin thickness on the cuticle area, and then you have this, oh, it's on this side, really cute, I don't know, it's symbol, but it shows the number of size it is. So I just got to size up. I'm just going to do this now because I'm going to put this away. This is my reserve tip stuff. I don't like whipping them out. My nails are looking horrid, so please don't judge me. Alright, so you just want to pick a size that kind of fits. Now, if something looks like way too snug, you could just size it up and see what that does. You can file the tip size down if it's not quite fitting. Alright, I'm just going to stick with this one here. Okay, and it has a little bit of an apex to it. So when we put the adhesive gel, it's just going to fill in that gap for you. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to close this because we're just doing the one nail. And then I'm going to remove it. You know, I've seen the après nails. I don't want to say it's exactly, but I feel like après nails are high up in quality as well. So if you know, want to do après instead of Gelish, because Gelish is pretty expensive. Alright, so again, I have the Nourish bottle here, and if you doesn't come with this stuff, you should get it. I can't remember what bundle I got, and I got it off of, I have a link in the description box. I get my Gelish from Nail Supply Inc. because sometimes you need a license when you get stuff on Amazon from Gelish. That bundle, actually, you didn't need one, so that was great. Maybe times have changed, because again, I got my kit and it came with all this stuff, and I don't know how many years ago it was, and I still have it, still works, whatever. This, though, is a new bottle, because I've used this bottle up in 2 seconds when I first got this kit. So, Nourish Cuticle Oil. Shoot. And then we have the Soft Gel Tip Adhesive. This is gold to this system. It's very nice. The consistency is not too thick, but not too liquidy either. So it's going to give a nice stick to your tip, but you'll still have to hold it in place. It's not that thick. The nail tip primer is essential. In many videos, you're going to see tips that are, oh, you have to scratch the underside of it first. You don't have to do that with these because these are gel tips. You just apply this tip primer and it makes it tacky for you to kind of make sure that stuff sticks. And then, of course, we have the primer and the nail dehydrator. All right. And then I have Varnail files, but that's because I got, it came with files, did it? Yeah, I think it comes with a file, but I've used those long ago and replaced them, so. All right, now what I want to show is a prep. Everybody does prep different, and I'm trying to put my mind in a mindset of, you know, someone might not have cuticle clip nippers. Someone might not have any file, you know, some basic stuff, because, you know, it's not in the kit. So what people might have is a cuticle pusher, like an orange stick. So I'm just going to use this a little bit just to like kind of push these back. I'm not going to be pulling out the cuticle clippers, nippers, whatever you want to call it, because again, not everybody's going to have that. But what I am going to do is take my buffer, and once I'm done kind of pushing these back a bit, I'm going to buff the nail and try to remove all this stuff. I had obviously a nail before, and I totally ripped that off. And then so now I'm you know, I'm just going to try to scratch off all the chunky parts. And then we're going to go into filing. When I put on these tips, I like to trim the nail. I don't like to see a tip, because depending on what you do, if you have a jelly nail or a French tip nail and the smile line's too low, you're going to see that tip, and that's one of my pet peeves. I hate seeing that. Alright, so after I do that, I'm going to, let me just take this. This is a very fine 180 grit file that I use for my natural nails. I am going to take a nail clipper, and I normally whip out my unicorn nail kit, but I actually have this and I haven't used it yet. It was free in something I bought. But anyway, I'm just going to trim this down. That way it's less filing. Oh my gosh, this was free and it doesn't even work. Makes sense. I'm putting a lot of elbow grease just to... Either my nails are super tough, which never really is a thing. But it has been a hot minute since I've done anything to my nails, so maybe it is just like, Jesus, look at that. Alright, so I like to cut it down to like, you know, as low as I could possibly make it so that I don't see that white tip line. Right, then I'm just going to take the finer side of my file here and just file around my edges in case there's any like Sharpies sticking out. And then also, because I don't want to squish my buffer, because sometimes residue on your nails is a bit thicker than the buffer can handle, I am also going to use the fine side of this to just file down any, you know, residue that I have left over from the nail that I had on, and any of this bulging like cuticle marks, you know, that white stuff. I'm assuming that's dead cuticle. I don't know. I'm not a nail person. I just do nail art, and occasionally I'll do my nails, but I don't show that because I you know, I don't want to steer anybody in the wrong direction. All right, after I've done that, then I'm going to take my buffer and this one is a one, oh, it's the same thing, huh? But it's on a spongy, so it kind of flexes to your curvature of your whatchamacallits nail. So now I can get into all the little grooves here with this shaper thingy. Yeah, you can tell how I describe things. And just buff away just some of that stuff you got on there, what have you, and it doesn't really, you don't want to go too crazy, but it's not gonna chip away at your nail surface if you were to use, like, let's say a regular nail file. Just to smooth out that edge in case you have little micro shards, fractures. I'm just going to use my buffer to smooth that out. All right. So once I get that done, I'm going to take my little nail dust brush. We're going to wipe this stuff off here. And I would really go to town on my nail, probably more so than I should, but yeah, you want to get rid of shiny stuff. I feel like there's a bunch on the edge here. You just want to make sure you remove that shine. So any of the crevices that you have are prone to being missed by your buffer. Buff this out. I mean, brush it out. Okay. Now what I like to do is I'm just going to take a lint-free wipe. Okay. Whoop. And not knock my camera. I'm going to take some of this nail cleanser. That just went everywhere. And we're just going to clean off any of this dust. It's also going to clean off any, like, you know, other kind of residue. I don't know. You never know. You want your nail to be nice and clean and free of debris and not oily and super dry. So this is just going to clean it. And then when we do our pH bond, that dehydrates it. This is good too if you have oily nails. Let's see, am I missing anything that I need here? All right, meanwhile, before I do all this stuff, let's go ahead and prime our tip. That way it gets time to chill on the tip, you know, settle in there. I'm just making sure that this tip is nice and clean from any debris. It's been in that box for a while. And no matter what happens, somehow there's always Dexter hair, no matter how hard I clean. So, right, so we're just going to take this nail tip primer and we're just going to put it along where you think your thumbnail is going to be. You don't have to put it under the full tip. All right. So we're just going to set this aside. This has kind of like a little smell to it. Okay. Now I'm going to take the pH bond nail dehydrator and we're just going to put this all over the surface of the nail. Okay, there's that. Then we're going to take our acid-free primer and we're going to put this onto the nail. I like to do one nail at a time. In the past, I would just try to do all like one product down the hand, but then I find I have to stop, do something, get my nails jacked up. Or I also feel, I don't know, maybe comment below if you know if this is a thing, when I put my hand under the lamp, I feel like that kind of ruins the integrity of the primer if it gets hit with that UV. So comment below, let me know if you agree with that. Oh, let me turn on my lamp actually. Get that ready. Because I do have the gooseneck lamp that's charging right now. But I also have my Gelish LED lamp. And like I said, I like to keep the systems together. I rarely use my big lamp because I mostly do nail art on separate nails. Let me just, where am I? I'm trying to find the button. Okay. All right. So we did this. Now we're left with this bottle here, soft gel tip adhesive. We've got our nail tip. I'm just going to unplug this. You need to charge your lamp. You want to wait till the red light disappears. I think it either disappears or turns green. I can't remember. So I'm turning this on and, ooh, be careful, don't touch it. It's a touch lamp, so be careful. I'm just going to angle this here so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And let's try to plant it in the center. So that's the good thing with this gooseneck. It's very sturdy. I wouldn't drop it though. You don't know what's going to happen, but it's very sturdy, very strong. You know, it's not a flimsy lamp. So they did very well. I love Gelish. The quality, you pay a lot, but the quality is great. So I used to know this very well when I used to do this a lot, but I think what I would do is put a little dab halfway up that size marker to kind of gauge. But when you start, you're going to learn how much of this you need to put. You want to, ideally you want to get it to where you put enough to not make it leak everywhere. So I'm just going to put, you know, you can always redo it. So I'm just going to start with, and I feel like this might be too much, but let's see, let's try scraping some of this off. Okay, let's see. I don't know. Like I said, it's been a while, so I don't remember how much I need. Let's see. But it's trial and error, you know, and you don't have to cure it if you don't like it. All right, close the bottle up, especially near this touch lamp. You don't want to accidentally cure the bottle. That would be a travesty. And you don't want to cure it while you're still holding the tip and it's not attached to anything. So what you're going to do is you're going to try to line this up to where it's not going to be crooked. So you have to keep looking at what you're doing. And it's really hard when you're on camera because you have to look at a million places all at once. And none of them is where you want to be looking directly onto your nail. So we're just going to roll this. I got it kind of, I tend to put it super close. You don't need to put it super close to your cuticle, but you want to roll it down. And like I said, you can see the adhesive kind of roll down with it. And you want to get it to where it doesn't leak past the nail. And I can see already that it's kind of a little over the nail. There's a little too much. So I'm just going to gently lift it and I'm going to scrape. I'm going to put pressure and scrape the nail so that I can drag the liquid with it. And then if you're that type, you can, it's your personal bottle. You can take the brush and remove the a little bit of liquid with that brush. If you don't want to, you know, if you're not a mixing type person, get yourself a lint-free wipe. I've got my orange stick here. I'm just gonna remove a little bit of this liquid or adhesive off, and we're gonna try again. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure how much I want to remove. Let's just remove that much and see what happens. Sometimes I feel like I go micro slow. It's like you only removed a little bit. What did you expect? Okay. If you get this on your skin too, you want to scrape that off because that's not going to be a fun time carrying this stuff to your skin. All right, so we're going to go again, and I'm going to try to avoid this touch lamp. If you want, you can turn it off, because I accidentally touch it while I'm trying to attach this on here. But you do want a quick touch to flash cure it, so you really want it on. But if you're that worried, just at least keep your hand far enough away from the lamp to where if you accidentally hit, well, you don't accidentally hit it. All right, but I'm going to do this again. You want to try to avoid the bubbles. So if you see one, pop it with your cuticle stick. Okay. Whoop. Yeah, we're gonna, and that's the beauty of this thing. You're ready until you're ready. So I know this is super close, but I'm kind of avoiding my lamp. And I think this is it. I think this is a good one. Now I just gotta make sure that it's straight. You don't want a crooked nail. And then you can just touch the lamp. And you can either count like 5 seconds. This will shut off shortly, by the way. This does have a little heat spike. So if you're feeling uncomfortable with the heat spike, it's a little warm right now. Some days are good, some days are bad. It depends, I guess. I don't know, because I normally don't feel bad with this on some days, but some days I do. Maybe I was using something else, who knows. But anyway, obviously if you feel a certain amount of heat, remove it. But this will shut off by itself. I think it might be 5 or 10 seconds. It's not that long, and this is only to flash cure. So what you want to do after you use this gooseneck lamp is use your, you know, your heavy duty lamp and regular lamp, because that's gonna fully cure the product. I mean, is it fully cured now? Maybe, I don't know, but you don't want to chance it. You want to make sure that you get a nice cure on this. So right over there is my, and this is my messy robe right now. Right over there is my Gelish LED 18G gel light lamp. I've had that for like 2016, no joke. Still kicking. I love it. There's a new one. They've made new ones, newer ones. They've also made cordless ones. So it's very impressive, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So That was maybe 30 seconds. I forget which buttons I hit. But I like to do a double, you know, with this lamp to make sure everything's, you know, good. It's all clear, so it should be curing very well. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it. And I'm going to use basic products. Like I do have this really cool Varnail nail clipper. Looks like one of those pet ones, doesn't it? But I'm not going to use that because not everybody has that. I mean, I am a brand ambassador with Varnail. So if you ever want to check their website out for their cool tools, my links are in the description box. But let's say bye to the Gelish Touch LED lamp. Thank you so much for your service. I appreciate it so much. Always reliable. All right. So let's do this now. I've got long coffin. She has medium coffin and probably wants a short coffin maybe. So I'm going to trim this down. But you guys, look at this. Isn't that insane? And it's on there. The quality's so good. Now, if you keep nails long like this, don't be opening boxes like I used to. I mean, it's great until it starts to lift and then all hell breaks loose on your natural nail. But anyway, and see how like I trimmed my tip. So now if I do a design, it's not, you know, if it's a jelly nail, you're not going to see a nail and then a nail. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to cut this down and I'm just going to take a regular small rinky-dink nail cutter because not everybody has that. And what you want to do is just, you know, obviously pick the level that you want. I think this is medium, so we'll go halfway over here. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm using, you know, most of these nail clippers have a nice curvature to it. I'm just going to line it with my smile line and make sure I get the same distance from one side to the other. You're just eyeballing it, really. So, I mean, this could be a hit or miss because not everybody's going to be good at doing this. But that's why I have my other file here, my coarser grit file. And sometimes these things, like a little rinky dink, is not going to get all the way to the nail. You can just lift it up and twist it or just go back and forth, however you want to do it. But yeah, we just trim that sucker down. So now it's a more workable nail. So I'm going to take this one here is a 100-150 coarse file here. This is when I'm meaning some business here because this is very rough. So I'm going to take the rough edge and I'm just going to file down my tip if it's, you know, too long or too jagged, because not all nail clippers cut very nice. This actually cut very nice. And I'm just going to file this even. So I would do that. And from here you can change the shape too. If you want it almond, just keep rounding out that. But I think this is good. I think I'm just going to keep what I have. And this side's a little too long. Ugh, I hate that noise. I hate that feel. Anyway. Varnail, if you choose to try out different tips, it's not the same quality, but they have etchings on their long tip. I think it's like a 3XL, and you can trim it down, and all you got to do is cut it around the etched lines to do the different size and shape nails. I did an unboxing of that, but I thought that was such a great idea because sometimes when I was doing the custom press-ons, you know, I would be asked for size. Like, I don't really do anything less, at the time, anything less than long. So when they would ask for medium or short, I'd be like, oh, I would have to draw my own lines on here and cut each of the 24 nails out to make sure that it was all equal in size. So I like that Varnail does have that feature. But anyway, all right. So I did the rough side. Now we can just go in and start getting back to the lighter courses to make a smoother edge, if you will. So kind of the same thing that we did with the natural nail. You want to start by getting a little coarser file to remove any of the big chunks and splits or fragments or what have you, and then you want to go to a finer one up to a buffer to make a nice smooth finish. So here, if you did, you can check the connection between your natural nail and the cuticle part of the soft gel tip, and if you see any and this part's crucial too, when you get an e-file it'll be a lot better, but a lot of people don't have that. So if you see any ledges, so this didn't, you know, my nail, not every nail shape is going to fit the tip, so you just want to make sure that there's no ledges. So I'm going to just file these down a little bit, and be careful not to if these are fresh files, to not, you know, get too close to your skin. I didn't season my files. Crap. To quickly show you that, I'll do that now. Alright, so I'm going to take the rough side of this one, and you don't want to give yourself a nice paper cut on the edge, so you can scrape the coarse side down with the sharp sides of your file to file down those edges. And clearly you would do it all around, but I'm only using this side. In case you're wondering, when you have a shape like this, the tapered side is more for like the free edges, and then this is for the bulkier stuff you're trying to, I was gonna say try to jack up, but no. Alright, so in this video, I'm not going to put any paint on it. What I'm actually going to do is remove it, sadly. Oh, so I probably should have seasoned the whole thing. Alright, so right now we're just filing down the ledges. And you really want that nice, you know. You have the ability to get as close to your cuticle as you want with these tips. So however close you get, you want to feel it and make sure you don't feel that ledge. Alright, so that's basically it. So you don't need to etch underneath because of the nail tip primer. And the same reason why you don't have to file the surface to put on a polish. So because these are high quality, and they mention it in their little tutorials, but because this is of high quality and it is a gel tip, you don't need to put a base coat. You can go direct with a color. If you want to put a base coat because maybe you're doing line art, then put on a base coat, because that will, you know, base coats obviously are great for line art. I do that all the time. Well, no, sometimes I cheat, but anyway. But other than that, I'm just filing it down so that the ledge is gone. Alright, so once you get everything nice and smooth, you could put a base coat if you'd like, depending on what it is you're doing, or you can put, you know, a couple of coats of the color and then top coat and finish. Now, what I am going to do now is I'm going to remove it, because I showed you guys that in this kit it comes with the nail tip remover, and this is amazing and it works very well with this system. So let's say you're done, you want to remove these, or you want to change up your nails. This is how you're going to do it. You're going to take your coarse file and you want to file off the top coat of your nail, whatever you use, because, you know, in the real world I would have put on a polish and a top coat. But what you also want to do, because also depending on the brand of polish, because it might not be Gelish, what you want to do is file down to where you scrape the surface of the tip. So you're filing off the top coat, off the gel polish, and then the surface of the tip. And this is so that it makes it porous. You want it porous so that the nail tip remover that we're using will get absorbed into this gel tip. And you're like, why are you doing that? You just did an awesome job applying the nail and now you're removing it. Well, because I got her the full system, and if she wants to remove it off, or anybody else, you'll know how to. So let's do that. We're already 30 minutes in, but I think it's well worth it. You know, I normally don't like doing long videos anymore, but this is well needed. And voiceovers later are just so difficult. I don't think they get the real reaction when you do a voiceover later. All right. Now, I have actually Madam Glam nail soaker clips. I don't know if that's what you call it. That's what I'm gonna call it. And not everybody's gonna have that, so I'm gonna actually hop off for a second. I'm gonna get some foil. So we're gonna do, I'm gonna get cotton, because everybody has a cotton ball, and I'm gonna get foil. Now, depending on what this is, like, this is already short. If you really wanted to minimize the amount of soak time or object that the liquid is soaking to, I would trim the tip. In fact, you know what? Let's just do that. Because once you see me doing it, maybe you'll do it too. Where's that clipper? Okay, same clipper. We're just gonna trim down this tip short, because why waste product on something that you're already gonna remove? So if you're intending on removing this nail completely, you might as well clip off the majority of the nails so that you don't spend, like I just did, all that time filing and soaking. So I probably should have clipped that a while ago. All right, and then, yeah, just finish up your filing here. Just make sure that all the shiny surfaces are gone. Okay, and then I'm just gonna pause this recording. Hopefully I press unpause, because I'm gonna go grab some aluminum foil and a cotton ball. And maybe clean off this dust too, because this is unacceptable. All right, take your little brush and dust off the filings. And look at that. It's so good. I love this. I just wish that I didn't do crochet videos all the time, because, or knitting videos, because I can't have nails doing it. It gets in the way, according to the masses. So, be right back. All right, so I have my jumbo cotton ball that I'm not gonna need as jumbo, so we can just rip some of this off. You just need enough to cover the surface of your nail. Then I got this full sheet of aluminum foil, because that's just how they come in, and I'm going to break off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Okay. Then I'm going to take the nail tip remover from Gelish. Again, you'll have your own bottle if you get the bundle. I had a big one and I hardly used it, and it's gone now, but I'm going to have to get myself more. So if you have other nails, be careful. In fact, let's just use this thumbnail here. And I like putting them in these bottles because it dispenses it easy. All right, so we've got some of this on here. Let's just give it a nice soak. I want to make sure we have enough liquid on there. So now what I'm going to do is place this over. Whoop! Don't get it on there. I've done that and it kind of ruined my mat. Alright, put it on your nail here. Then we're going to take the aluminum foil. Where's my orange stick? I'll use my orange stick. We're just folding that in because I'm going to take the aluminum foil. I'm going to put it over. This is probably way huge of a piece of foil, but whatever. And then you can, I don't know, figure it out. I don't know, figure it out. Alright. Just get that sucker in there. And I don't remember how long it said to leave it, but I like to put it in for like a 15-minute soak. Now this is important because it really, if you've ever tried to remove nail extensions, they say e-file is the better way to go, even though dust gets everywhere if you don't have a dust collector, and it does take a bit on the fact that you have to buy the e-file and on top to teach yourself to use it so you don't file your whole finger off. That's a little exaggeration, but this stuff soaks into the tip and the adhesive and it kind of just bubbles away. So that's why I like it. So we're gonna do 15 minutes. I'm obviously gonna pause this because, oh my gosh, this video is already 40 minutes, and then we're gonna come back in at 15, see where it's at, and then if it is still on there, we're gonna put it for another 15. So when you do this, it's ideal that you use your file, e-file or manual, and file down as much as you can of, you know, all that stuff that's on the tip, and break the surface of the tip so that it gets a nice soak. But I will be back. Alright, so 15 minutes. Let's see what it looks like. Where is my cuticle stick? Alright. So this is what we're working with, and it's freshly done on to my, you just saw me do it. So by the time you do this in 2 weeks, maybe there's lifting, maybe it's just, you know, on its last leg, but it is rolling off at 15 minutes. So this side didn't soak very well, and that's probably because I didn't really stick that into that crevice. So you may find the edges of your nail will still be on there, but yeah, this is pretty much peeling. So we are having obviously residue from some of the adhesive, and this is where you would sit a little bit longer than 15 minutes, or you can wait till this kind of hardens up or dries up a bit, and then you can take your file to it. But see, is what I'm saying, like before I was using this system and I was doing polygel, that's a full-on, you need like a file, e-file or a file, and just file away. This one, it just kind of melts off. So I'm gonna put this back on for another 15. I don't like to use the same cotton ball for it, and these jumbos are so amazing, by the way, because I use these for my stamping. And it's real nice that I can stretch out a cotton ball. Oops, a cotton ball that far. It will take a lot for you to accidentally ruin your other nails if that's not what you're trying to do, like I am. But I always freak out because I don't want to touch anything. I do have to remove these. These are getting old, but I don't have time to remove them now. So I'm just going to do that later. I'm just showing this one nail for now. But we're gonna go back in here and I guess use the cuticle stick to get into those crevices. I mean, it's not gonna stay, and that's the bad thing about this. If you can get the soaker clips, you can probably find them on Amazon. They'll apply the pressure on there better, and they're kind of shaped to go over your nail, so that might be a better thing to work with, because I'm already placing it down. It's not even staying. But yeah, so let's leave this in for another 15. And then I might just come back in with it all cleaned up so that I could just put this on, because this is the last part of our thing here. You could put this on after you know, put polish on your tip and you're good to go. But if you're definitely removing this because we did so much to it and you're putting this liquid on there, the Nourished Cuticle Oil is good to just rehydrate your skin. Alright, this is after another 15 minutes. I said I'd not be back, but I'm back. Just because we're going to see where we are now. The adhesive now has bubbled up, like I said. I love this stuff. It makes it so much easier to, I'm flicking this off. And I feel like it's protects your nail, because when you try to rip off press-ons, you do get like the layers that you split off of your nail surface. So I think this is pretty good. So I guess we can say legit 30 minutes is a good enough time, because then filing the rest of this off, you know, won't take much. Just again, the finer nail file would work on this, if you know, or maybe the buffer, depending on how well it comes off. But yeah, that's that. And like I said, this is like just after application. I feel like after 2 weeks of wear and tear, your nail is ready to get rid of this thing, I feel. So it might be easier down the road. But yeah, so I just wanted to show this to you guys. I'm going to share this video with my best friend, and hopefully it works out. Comment below any questions that you might have. But yeah, I like this stuff. And then I'm just going to put everything I used here so I can just roll it up and toss it away. But let's take our little file now. This is a different one. I put my files away. Put the nicer ones away. Let's just take my ratty ones out. But I'm just going to make sure that all this stuff is just off there. And it's one of those things where you don't want to file crazy like, because we already did that before, and you don't want to make your nail too thin. But got that. And then I'm going to take my buffer, just smooth everything out. I would even, you know, maybe take the finer side. There isn't much on here, so I am using the finer side of the buffer. Okay. And I'm going to take my brush, or my, what the hell is this? I don't know. And just dust off your thumb. We're going to take another lint-free wipe, and I'm going to get some more of this nail cleanser. And we are going to just remove all the extra debris of filings. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Nourished Cuticle Oil, We're going to apply this onto my nail bed. Can let that soak in for a bit. We did do a lot to our, or at least I did a lot to my nail in one day, in one sitting. You can rub this in with your finger. You know, I would actually wash my hands before I put this on. And then you just leave it in, let that sucker soak it up. You can have it bare. You can put on, you know, Gelish comes out with VitaGel. It has some nourishing minerals in the gel to kind of help your nail recover or to strengthen it. But yeah, and that's it. Back to normal. Or not, because now I just have no nail there anymore. But anyway, alright, so hopefully this was helpful to anyone that has this system. Again, I highly recommend it. I will leave my nail supply ink link. It's a very long one, but if you use that, that definitely helps me out. I will also find the Amazon one, because that's $10 more, but it also, you know, if you have Prime, it'll take 2 days. I think if you use nail supply ink, it takes whatever shipping you end up picking. But you can earn points on there they have other brands as well if you want to peruse through that. But yeah, alright you guys, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye. And I wanted to go ahead and thank my Josieism Tier 2 members. Thank you for all your support. Go check out Sandra Sparkley Sets and check out Conjure Up Nails, as well as the Nail Genie SC. Also, thank you so much for my other Josieism members. If you would like, go check out the perks and become a member today. Thanks. Bye.